Hello fellow nerds, my name is Brian I and welcome to another deep dive into my Jurassic Park collection. Before we get started, I do want to update you as to its fate. For a hot minute, I thought we'd be able to find some space in the house for the collection, but alas, it was not meant to be. Very soon I will have to box up this whole room and temporarily move it elsewhere. But hope springs eternal, so my plan right now is to retrieve the pieces that I need for videos that I produce during the time that it's all been put away. Sad day, but to cheer me up, let's do today's video. Let's get right back into Kenner and discuss something special. To raise my spirits, for once I'm not going to talk about things in my collection. In fact, it's their absence from this room that makes them such an interesting topic. They are incredibly rare, and for JP collectors, they are the holy grail. Reveal! The canceled toys of Kenner's Jurassic Park toy line! 2 title cards! Every toy line on this planet undergoes the aches and pains of planning, development, production, and release. And a lot of times, companies will straight up cancel their creations. Sometimes ideas don't make it past the conception phase, sometimes toys make it into packaging before they get the axe. Kenner's JP toy line is no different. While we don't have a good grasp of what, if anything, was canceled from the initial wave of figures and dinosaurs, our cup runneth over with unreleased Series 2 toys. Some of them made it into the world. Others never saw the light of consumer day. And we're going to examine each one. The pictures I'm going to be using come from the JP Toys database, and I included a link in the description to the Unreleased page so you can check the pictures out at your own convenience. But let's start with the 4 that you see in front of me. No, none of these are legitimate. All of them are, in fact, just actually released toys that had the benefit of meeting a talented local airbrush artist. They represent the unique molds of Series 2 unreleased products that actually found their way, eventually, to us, the consumer. 3 years after they were supposed to be released for Series 2, they were repainted, retooled, and repackaged for Kenner's Lost World toy line. We have Unreleased, Scutosaurus, Ornithosuchus, and Gulper T-Rex. Unreleased and Scutosaurus would both appear in the Lost World's Dino Tracker Adventure set, complete with the capture gear they were meant to come with in 1994. In both their cases, a single sample version of each appeared online. The card backs were reused from other releases, but the bubble blisters were unique to them. Judging by the rough shape of the packaging, they were never meant for consumer release, only as mock-ups to demonstrate how they might look on shelves or fit in distributor cases. These packaging samples appeared to come from China, where Kenner would have likely had a factory to do their work. Interestingly, the Unreleased mock-up somehow sold for only $4 despite its inherent value. It also appears in its original paint apps on the box art for the Dino Tracker set, despite being actually sold with a toned-down gray color scheme. Ornithosuchus is special among the 3 small animals because it seemed to be the only one that made it past the mock-up phase and may have seen a very, very, very limited release. In 2005, a packaged specimen appeared on eBay and is sold for over $3,000. Unlike the other 2, which surfaced on card backs meant for other toys, Ornithosuchus had its own unique card back, complete with instructions on the back and its own collector card, number 46, featuring a rare image of Robert Muldoon as he leaves the maintenance shed in the 3rd act. A picture I cannot seem to find anywhere on the net, no matter how hard I try. This mold was next reused for the Lost World toy line as a standalone figure for their Series 2. Which brings us to the Gulper T-Rex. The cancellation of Gulper seems to have happened well before the previous 3. We know this for 2 reasons. 1, as of right now, only an unpainted prototype has made it out into the world. 2, unlike Unreleased, Scutosaurus, and Ornithosuchus, it does not appear on Series 2 card backs, and its one and only image is found in a promotional catalog meant for toy distributors. The Gulper was meant to retail for $26.99, and its selling point, aside from its size, was its ability to swallow or eat other toys. The mold was later used, of course, for the very popular Bull T-Rex in 1997. Kenner updated the eyes, installed a sound box with authentic movie sounds, and gave it a paint job to match the film's male Rex. The Gulper was planned as the big dino of Series 2, taking the place of the Red Rex on the shelves. In fact, the collector cards that came with the 1994 re-release of Red Rex reveal the nickname to be Gulper. It's likely that this card was originally intended for Gulper, but at the last moment changed to be included in the re-release. Instead, Utah Raptor, with its electronics and kick gimmick, replaced Gulper as the de facto big new Series 2 dinosaur. Also going unreleased were the Jungle Colors Bush Devil Tracker and Jungle Explorer vehicles. There isn't much to say here, sadly, as none have ever surfaced, but they appear to be straight repaints with no new features or accessories. They seem to have gotten the can sooner than the three small dinos, but after the Gulper, as they are actually teased on card backs. That's how we know that they were going to be coming out. Finally, one human figure was in development for Series 2's Dino Raiders. He was to be called Scrap Davis, and he had some very special features. He had a cybernetic leg and arm, which was detachable so it could be swapped for a projectile launcher. This figure and the baby Dimetrodon that came with him were never to be repurposed again, and they seem to have been canceled around the same time as the Jungle Color vehicles. Again, he appears on card backs. But why were they canceled? Well, the easiest answer is that Kenner knew Jurassic Park mania was fading, and Series 2 was not going to be the success that Series 1 was. This led to fewer Series 2 toys making their way to shelves. Between a lack of consumer enthusiasm and Kenner's own low rollout of Series 2 toys, they're much rarer to come by than their 1993 counterparts. So Kenner had to be selective with what they decided to bring to the consumer. For the three small animals, Unreleased, Scutosaurus, and Ornithosuchus, fans have speculated for years that it was their obscurity or their hard-to-pronounce names that kept them off the shelves. But I favor a different take. These three stand out from the rest of the small dino line for one reason. They all have dino damage, which is new to that size of dinosaurs released for Jurassic Park. I don't think it's a coincidence that these were selected for the chopping block while Lycanops and Tanystropheus made it to the stores. The higher cost of production due to the dino damage was the most likely reason for their ultimate cancellation. For the Gulper, it came down to shelf space versus quality. The Gulper had one gimmick. It could swallow other toys. It was a lot to ask stores to take up shelf space for a waning brand with a toy that would not generate a lot of profit and had, let's face it, a pretty lame gimmick all by itself. The Jungle Colors vehicles were redundant, since they added nothing new to the party and the originals were probably selling well enough into 1994 to convince Kenner not to bother with the cost of repainting and retooling their packaging. Scrap Davis's cancellation probably had something to do with the outlandish nature of the character. As wild as the Dino Trackers and Dino Raiders seemed to be towards the rest of the line, Scrap Davis took a turn towards futuristic science fiction that Kenner likely felt was too far removed from the brand. It may also have been that Scrap's action features were more costly to produce than the other human figures, and that made him a prime candidate for abandonment. It is a bummer we never got to see these toys get a wide release. Let me know down in the comments which one of these you'd have liked to actually see hit shelves. Honestly, I wish we'd gotten the Jungle Color vehicles. I just keep picturing the same box art as the originals, only updated to reflect Series 2 color schemes. But if they had come out, we might have sneered about how they were shelf warmers or how they weren't the most exciting of the toys or whatever. But because they were canceled, they achieved a mysterious, legendary status among the Jurassic Park faithful. I sometimes feel my collection is incomplete because these toys in packaging do not exist for me to add to it. But they live on, still, in our hearts. Or whatever, I don't know, they're just plastic. Anyway, I hope I was able to help you, give you a little insight, maybe just entertain you with some niche JP minutia. If you like this content, please like, share with other Jurassic fans, and subscribe to let me know you're interested in more. If you see something behind me that you'd like to know more about, let me know down in the comments, and I will happily give a deep dive into it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. I'm Brian I. Later, nerds.